welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonia. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, well, of course, welcome back. So as you can read in the description box below, today is going to be my tea time of my ex-husband's crazy baby mama. Now, if you are new and you have not seen my videos before, I did drop a series of my narcissistic marriage, which was about my narcissistic ex-husband, and I kind of touched base just a little bit on the fact that he had a crazy baby mama, but I didn't go into full detail because her story alone is taking up, I needed to make a separate video. It required a separate video to give details, to explain things, to just kind of just let y'all know everything that's going on. Yes, it is juicy. Yes, I'm going to give you all the deets. So go ahead and go grab you a snack, go grab you something to drink, and we about to get started. We're going to lead up to when I became a part of the Slap-a-Hoe tribe and I slapped that hoe in the parking lot. I know you're probably thinking, damn, Sonia, every tea time you have is about you hitting somebody. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I've changed, I promise. Those tea times were old. They was like back when I was younger and I was toxic. Trust me, she deserved it. You will be so proud of me because it took me forever. It took me forever to get to the point where I did have to slap that hoe. You or me, I'm telling you, you would have snapped. You would have snapped way before. Okay, so here's the backstory. So I met my ex-husband. Remember, we codenamed him Esteban, and he had forewarned me when I met him that he had a crazy baby mama. He told me stories about her. He told me how she was ratchet and ghetto, and she was just, crazy. And his ex-girlfriend, when he would have to meet the baby mama to exchange the little girl, she would get in the ex's face. She would like get up in her face, like bump her chest, like talk shit, call her a bitch, just be so disrespectful. But it caused a lot of problems in their relationship, which I would suspect that it would. Now, I've never had baby mama, baby daddy drama. I had drama with my daughters, my two older daughters, their dad, but that was beef between me and him, and I'm gonna tell that tea time eventually. As far as like a spouse or somebody that I'm with or I'm dating having an issue with, my baby daddies, no. Or me having an issue with the baby mamas, they may not have liked me, I may not have liked them, but this definitely was my first rodeo, and it definitely took the cake on anything else that happened before. And so I kind of explained that to him. I'm like, look, I'm pretty cordial, I'm pretty chill, I'm mature. If she wants to talk to me and she wants to get to know me, I'm more than happy to talk to her about it. I'm more than happy to discuss whatever she wants to discuss, but I'm not gonna get into it with her. I'm not doing it. I just thought that maybe over time things would get easier or better. So they did exchange at the police station per their court order. I told him from the jump, like, I'm just not even gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna show up. Like, I didn't want to cause problems. I didn't want problems coming my way. I didn't want to cause problems. Plus, it's not about me. It was about the little girl, and I didn't do all that acting stupid in front of your kid shit. So I'm just like, this is your kid, this is your situation. Just, you go ahead and you deal with it or whatever, and I'll just be here waiting, and you can introduce me to her whenever you're ready. So when the day came, he did. He went to pick up the little girl. I waited at his apartment. He brought the little girl, and that's how it kind of went for, the first few times. When then it got to like the third or fourth time that he got her, and we were at a park, and I kept telling him, like, we need to go, we need to go, we need to go. We never end up going, and guess what? It came time to return her. So he's like, well, I gotta take you to the police station. So I'm thinking, okay, well, the little girl had to have gone back and told the baby mama that she's seen me a few times. So maybe everything will be okay. Plus, he told me she was like 8 months pregnant with like her fourth kid. She was married. So I'm like, okay, well, your situation happened like 4 or 5 years ago. This is a new situation. Plus, the little girl, like I said, may have told her something. So I'm just like hoping for the best. And I don't even get out of the car. I stay in the car. I'm like, I'm not going to get out unless she wants me to get out and introduce myself. Then, I'm trying to respect her. She's the baby mama. So they show up to the police station, her and her husband. Her husband's sitting in the car. She gets out. I'm 4'11". She's like 4'10". She's like a little bit shorter than me. She waddles over and I see her look in the windshield. And she just starts going the fuck off. She's like, who's this bitch in a car? You just picking up hoes off the street. Who the fuck is this? I told you not to be having no girls around my baby, blah, blah. And she's screaming and they're yelling like literally right by the door, by my door. And I'm just like, oh my God. What the fuck have I got myself into? Like, what the hell? Sonia, what the hell? So they're arguing or screaming at the police station, just going the fuck at it. And the little girl, I feel so bad for the little girl because she's like in between both of them and she's like pushing the mom, like trying to get the mom back to the car. And she's like, stop it, stop it. And she's like 5 years old at the time. And my heart just went out to her. I just felt so bad for her. And I'm just thinking like, this is so crazy. This is so unacceptable. Like, I don't want to be a part of this shit. So he gets back in the car. And I'm just thinking like, as soon as he gets in and he's like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I look at him and I'm like, dude, don't do this shit to me again. Do not take me to the police station again. I don't want to be involved with this. Like, leave me the fuck out. I told you. You told me that this is what she was. I'm trying to keep it all like civil. Do not involve me with this shit again. Like, ever. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. And a few times go by and I don't go at all. My thing is for one, it's not my situation. It's not my situation. It's their situation. I don't want to cause any more disturbance or problems. So again, it's about the little girl. So all I could think of is I don't want her. She already obviously has two toxic ass parents. She starts to be mature and she starts to want to be cordial and wants to talk to me and get to genuinely know me. Then I will show up and we could talk. But until then, I'm just gonna be in the shadows and I'm gonna let you deal with it. So the next time he gets the little girl, it's Father's Day and we get her, and crazy baby mama never let him keep the little girl overnight. She never let him keep her, and he said it's because of his job. So I told him, if you ever need a babysitter, if you ever need, anybody to watch her, my son was her son's age at the time. Well, they're the same age, but I'm like, my son's 5, your daughter's 5. They get along. So if you ever need me to watch her for whatever reason, like, I'm okay with that. Like, it's not a big deal. So he's like, okay, well, if I keep her, do you mind if you watch her the next day so I can go to work before I take her home? I'm like, sure, that's fine, but you got to talk to crazy baby mama. Like, that's between y'all. Didn't go down very well. But in her defense, I will say that my ex-husband was extremely irresponsible. He didn't tell her that he wasn't to bring the little girl home until he was supposed to take her to meet the mom. I'm like, you can't do that to her. Like, even I was on her side. I'm like, you cannot do that to her. Like, you should have set this up prior. You should have been like, hey, I'm going to keep her. I have a babysitter, whatever. You didn't even have to tell her it was me. She's like, hey, I'm going to keep her till the next day and y'all hash it out. But you can't just be like, yo, I know I'm supposed to bring her back in like 10 minutes, but I'm not coming. Of course, she has it out with him. She calls the police. They do a wellness check. Of course, that was fine because he has a court order. But the next day when he took her back, she was livid. She was pissed. And she snatched the little girl out of the car. We didn't see the little girl for a year. And I felt bad, dude. Like, I felt bad. I somehow felt like it was my fault. I'm like, man, if he hadn't been dating me or whatever, like, maybe this just would have went over smoother. Like, I'm just thinking of the little girl. Like, that's all I could think about was her situation. I'm not a bitter baby mama. I never have been a bitter baby mama. I don't use my children as leverage. I don't say, oh, you're not paying your child support, you can't see your kid. Oh, you want to act stupid, you can't see your kid. Oh, you dating somebody else. I don't do stuff like that. So for me to see it firsthand it was very surprising for me because I just could not fathom or understand like why stuff like that happened. Over the time of the year, you know, things happened between me and Esteban, which that's my ex-husband, and we moved in together. He ended up saving his money and I found him a lawyer. So me and his dad got together. We got this really great lawyer for him. We couldn't find baby mama. Apparently baby mama had her baby, divorced her husband, and we had no idea where she was at. It took some real PI shit to find her. Honestly, they didn't even need a PI. I found her. I was like, you know what? I feel bad. I really want him to see his daughter. I'm going to pitch in. I'm going to help him. So I tracked her down. I went and looked for her, found her like that. Wasn't that hard. It's not my first rodeo when it comes to custody or child support. I'm like, I got you, boo. I got you. I've done this before with a crazy ass ex. I got you. So we found her, took her to court, and I thought that was going to be it. I thought, you know what? This is it. We got the little girl back. There's not going to be any more problems. Everything's going to be cool from now on. It was not. I found a video, and it was saved on like my iCloud or something. So I'm trying to implement the video to just kind of show you kind of like what we went through when we did get the little girl. And the only reason why I even have a video is because when we were taking her to court, or I'm sorry, not we, but when he was taking her to court, the lawyer was saying, hey, first of all, he's like, take as many people with you to go pick up the little girl. The more witnesses, the better. He's like, and try to get a video of her acting stupid so that way I can show the judge, because they still hadn't finalized anything. So but the judge was like, yeah, you're holding, I'm going to hold you in contempt because you're in contempt of court. So you have to let him see the little girl. So she's like, okay. He took me, his mom, his brother, and we all went up to the police station with him just to be like, just to be his witnesses. And she would show up and she would act stupid. Every single time we would show up or drop the little girl off, she would act a fool. She would get out of the car. She would just cuss him out. And she always showed up with a different guy. And all I could think of is, weren't you cussing him out for having a new girlfriend? And every time we come, you have somebody different? Okay. And she finally decided to introduce herself to me, and when she did, she like squeezed the shit out of my hand and it was like right up in my face, and the only thing I could think of was she's missing a number 26 on the bottom. She's missing a tooth, you guys, on the bottom. Yeah. And all I can think of is, boo, I can help you. I can help you, boo. Like, we on the same team. Like, let me help you. Help me help you. I'm like, help me help you, boo, because I can help you. You're missing that front tooth. And let me describe her, by the way, just so y'all kind of know. She's like 4'10", really like chubby girl. She's like half Filipino, half Puerto Rican. She didn't look bad. She just didn't make herself look good because she dressed really ghetto, just had a lace front. Like, she had beautiful hair. I didn't understand why she had a lace front. And it wasn't even a lace front. It was so tacky. It was like a polyester front she got from Big T Bazaar. Like, the shit was not cute. Like, it was not cute. And you could see like the lines and stuff. And I'm just like, babe, I need to help you. And like, her clothes were like, fake Gucci. It's Poochie. She just, and her eyelashes, like, I have eyelashes, but my shit's not like this, like her shit was like, you couldn't even see her. I don't even know how she held her eyes open because her lashes were just like, it was bad, guys. It was so bad. And again, I'm just like, she wasn't ugly. I tell you what, if you're ugly on the inside, you're ugly on the outside. It doesn't matter what you look like. And all I could think of is, bitch, fix your tooth. Like, you wearing these polyester fronts, you need to be saving your money and fix that tooth. I can help you. I can help you. But that's all I could really concentrate on. I really didn't care that she was trying to intimidate me because that's what I felt like she was trying to do. I'm just like, okay. So from that point on, she made it very clear that the little girl couldn't stay in our house when I'm there alone. I couldn't pick the little girl up. I couldn't drop the little girl off. Now, around that time, Esteban had found a different job. He went to go work for my dad's company, and he worked like 12 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours a day, and he would be really tired. We didn't really hardly see each other, and that's how I even said in my videos when I talked about my marriage that I always had a little girl. The little girl was always with me. I took care of her all the time. So of course, it got to the point where I was going to have to be the one to pick her up and drop her off sometimes. And I hated it. So if I showed up and she saw that it was me, she would come up with every excuse not to hand the little girl over. And I'll give you an example. So one time I showed up and I get out of the car and I'm standing there and she's sitting in the car with her daughter and I can see her talking, and I'm just like waiting beside the car. Again, I get off of work early to drive all the way from Grand Prairie to Mesquite, because that's where they lived, to pick up the little girl for my ex-husband. This is his court order, but I'm trying to help him out. So I show up and she finally gets out of the car and she's standing there and she's standing by the little girl and she's like, tell her. And I'm just like, tell me what? And so I don't even try to acknowledge the baby mama. I'm looking at the little girl, so because obviously what's about to come out of her mouth was coached. So I'm like, what is it, babe? Like, what is it that you have to tell me? And I just feel so bad because I could just see the little girl like so torn. Like, she's just like, okay, like, okay, well, Sonia, I can't really come with you because you're not my mom, and my dad should be. And she's just like going on, and I'm just like thinking like, okay, this is baby mama talking. But I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, she's not your mom and she's not supposed to be here. And I'm just like, and I said, okay, all I need to know is if she's coming with me or not, so I can go inside to make my little police report. Because if she didn't hand the little girl over, or if there's something that happened between the visitations, then you're supposed to make a police report and then leave, and we're supposed to give it to the lawyer or whatever. And so I'm just like, look, is the little girl coming with me or not? That's all I need to know. If not, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to make my police report and go home because I ain't got time for this. Like, it's late. I'm tired. And she's just like, this isn't between me and you. This is between me and him, me and Esteban. She's like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to call him. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, just let me know. So I'm just standing there, not saying anything. And then she kind of like walks over to the side and she's like dialing in her phone. Like she's, going to call my ex-husband. So while she's doing that, the little girl, like immediately her whole attitude changes. Like she's no longer having to be coached to say something. And she has like this really fuzzy, like cute diary thingy, like notebook. And she walks up to me and she's like, hey, Sonia, look at my new journal. Like, isn't it cute? And she hands it to me and I grab it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cute. I'm trying not to pay attention to baby mama. I'm trying to distract the little girl. I'm just trying to be, like I said, just stay in my zone. Just be like, we'll figure it out. As soon as she hands it to me and I grab it and I look at it, baby mama comes flying over and she grabs the notebook out of my hand and she jerks it. And she's like, don't be touching her stuff. This is not yours to touch. And she's yelling at the little girl like, don't be letting her touch your stuff. This is your things. These are your. And I'm just like standing there like, are you fucking kidding? And I'm like, you know what? You want to be a fucking bitch in front of your daughter? And she's like, what did you say? And I said, you heard me. You want to be a fucking bitch in front of your daughter? Fine. But you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going inside. I'm going to make my police report and I'm leaving. She's like, you don't be disrespecting me in front of my kid. And da 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 da. She's screaming at the top of her lungs like a fucking idiot. And I walk inside and she's walking behind me and she's screaming. I walk inside and I'm like, yo, can I just get a police report? Like, she's not trying to let me grab a little girl from my ex-husband. I'm just trying to go home. Like, I ain't got time for this. So I get my little police report and I leave. And I call my ex-husband. I'm like, yo, I didn't get your daughter. Like, but this was happening all the time, you guys. Like, it happened all the time. I was starting, at that point, when I said that, you know, I was already getting fed up. Like, it was all the time. Or, you know, we would pull up and even if he was there, like, we would pull up and she would literally, like, jump in the back seat, open the door, be all up in our business, taking pictures of the car, like stupid, stupid, stupid ass shit. I was like, dude, like she has no boundaries, she has no respect. Like, I don't know how you tolerate this. On top of that, even when I wouldn't go, because a majority of the time I wouldn't go, I would try really hard not to go. Again, I didn't want to go and deal with it. But even when I didn't go, she still caused problems for my ex-husband. He would still be like, she threw a drink on me, she spit on me. Even with the little girl in our home for the weekend, she would call nonstop. And if he didn't answer the phone, she would scream and cuss, and I need to speak to my daughter when my daughter's with you. I need to know what's going on all the time. I refused to give her my number for the longest. I'm like, no. She's like, you're going to give me your information. She wanted my driver's license information. She took pictures of my car, my license plate. She wanted my kids' information. She wanted my address. She wanted my phone number. I'm like, I'm not giving you shit. You're not getting shit out of me because you don't know how to act right. Your weekend with your daughter is supposed to be peaceful and you don't even have that. Like, she was calling 24/7 all the time. And he was like, look, you need to understand, like, sometimes we're out, we're at the zoo, we're at the movies, we're doing something, I'm at work, Sonia's at work, like, we don't have time to be answering your fucking phone call like every single day. Like, she's with me for 2 days. You can talk to her when she gets back. So what she did, her bright idea, was to send a phone with the little girl. So she sends a phone and she's, you know, and I'm okay with the fact that she sent a phone, but it started to become a problem. So she would call little girl constantly and she would want to FaceTime her. And I caught her telling the little girl to walk around my apartment so she could see what I have. And I would tell her, no, you're going to sit over here by a barefaced wall up against the wall and you're going to talk to your mom. You're not going to walk around my house and show her my TV and show her my sofa and show her my room. Like, no, it's not happening. You need to sit over here. And so the baby mama would get mad and call him and be like, oh, she's bossing her daughter around. She's, you know, putting her in timeout while she's talking to me. Like, this is bullshit. Like, you know, your girlfriend's a problem. Like, always bad-mouthing me, always calling my ex-husband. Just, dude, like, you have no idea. I hated when that little girl come over. I did. I was like, you know what? I kind of wish we never fucking got rights to her anymore. Like, visitations, because this was more of a pain in the ass. And I know that sounds bad, but come on, like, it was so bad. There was an incident where the little girl did cheerleading, and you know, I was all for cheerleading. My son plays football. I'm all for extracurricular activities, and of course my ex-husband couldn't make them. And I'm like, dude, like, you're gonna have to figure this shit out. I can't keep doing this for you. I'm the one who gets screamed and yelled at. Like, I don't care if you get screamed and yelled at. Like, I care if I get screamed and yelled at. So I show up one day to practice and I'm waiting for the little girl to get out of practice, and I introduce myself to the coaches. I'm like, hi, I'm, you know, Esteban, you know's girlfriend. And they're like, cool. And they get my phone number and I exchange phone numbers with them. They put me in a little group chat so I know what's going on, because I'm the one who dresses a little girl for the games. I'm the one who puts her in a, you know, chonguito, and I'm the one who makes her all pretty and makes sure that she looks cute. Like, I told you, my ex-husband, he didn't do shit. So I wanted her to be presentable and to make sure she didn't miss out on anything while she was with us. So I show up one day and baby mama's not there, and I'm like, thank God, hopefully she's not coming and we can just finish this practice and go the fuck home. Baby mom walks up to me and says, hey, here's a bow. Baby mama purchased this bow for her and it needs to go in her hair for tomorrow because they're having a game tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, cool. Do you need her hair a certain way? They're like, yeah, if you can just do this. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're like, you know, we were going to give it to baby mama, but she's not here. I'm like, okay. That's fine. So I didn't think anything of it. I took the bow. I'm like, okay, you have to go in her hair the next day. Towards the end of practice, here comes Ghetto Babymama. Ghetto Babymama shows up, and I'm just standing over here on the side. I'm just like, whatever. And the moms are really nice. You know, I've introduced myself to a few of the moms. You know, again, my son plays football. I know how to be cordial. I know how to be, you know, mature. I love my football moms. So I was just thinking, like, great, I get to have cheer moms, you know? And she walks over, and I see her walk over to the team mom, and then I see her get all huffy and puffy, and I'm just like, please don't tell me this shit is about a bow. Sure enough, she walks over and she starts screaming at me in front of everybody. Like, you didn't pay for that bow. That's my bow. You're just trying to be stupid. You're trying to start shit. And I'm just like, no. And I'm just standing there like, first of all, she gave me the bow because you weren't here. Second of all, she has to wear the bow for tomorrow's game. Do you not want me to put it in her hair? Everybody else is going to have one except for her. So, I mean, I don't understand. Like, I'm not understanding. And she's just going on and on and on, like, no, I'm a bitch, and da da da. So I just give her the bow back. I'm like, here's your bow. I'm not going to argue with you. The team mom comes over to me and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm going to talk to the coach. She's like, I apologize. She's like, if you would like to purchase a bow, for yourself, for me and my ex-husband, she's like, you're more than welcome to. It's only $5. And I'm like, yes, please give me a bow. And the whole time, all I could think of is, $5, bitch? You screaming at me over a $5 fucking bow? Yeah, I wanted to start shit over a $5 bow. So I get in the car and I immediately call my ex-husband. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. You're going to have to figure this shit out because I'm not about to be fucking humiliated. I am not about to have somebody come in and get in my face and act stupid and be made to look stupid. I'm like, nah, it's not happening, bro. Your baby mama is getting really, really close to getting snatched the fuck up. I'm letting you know right now. I'm at my boiling point. I'm not doing it. Like, you want to figure it out. So he's like, okay. So this is kind of like where we're coming into the story of when I finally took action. We decided as a couple, after that weekend was over, that we were not going to support the cheerleading stuff anymore. And I did. I felt bad because I'm just like, because I pulled out. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do the practice anymore. I'm not going to pick up the little girl from the station anymore. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. And he's like, well, my job won't allow me. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. So he was like, well, I guess she's not going to do cheerleading. And I'm just like, okay, I guess not. So the next time we get the little girl, ex-husband was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking her to practice. I'm not taking her to a game. I'm not doing anything. He's like, I can't do it. My job doesn't allow it. And if you can't do it and you don't want to do it anymore, then that leaves me no choice but to pull her out. So I'm like, well, you do what you have to do. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I wish they could have worked it out, but I was like, maybe you can talk to her. He didn't even try to talk to her. I told you, he was a shitty baby daddy. So I'm just like, wow, okay. But I understood, like, why he didn't want to talk to her. Like, because she wasn't going to be reasonable. She wasn't going to be rational. She wasn't going to be cordial. She was going to be respectful. So why even try to talk to somebody who was completely irrational about shit and immature? Well, what do you think happened? He decided not to tell her. He took the little girl for the weekend and just completely didn't let her go to practice or let her go to the game. So, of course, baby mama calls and she's cussing him out on the phone and she's talking mad shit and she's going off. And guess who she blames? Me. She's like, it's her fault because she doesn't want to deal with shit and she doesn't want to deal with this and she's the one, da, da, da. And he's like, you acted stupid at the practice. You got in her face. She's like, yeah, because she was starting shit. He's like, no, she wasn't. He was trying to talk to her and I could hear her screaming and she's like, I don't want her at the practice anymore. I don't want her doing this. And he's like, okay, well then if you can't have her there, then I can't be there and you're gonna act stupid anyway. So then I guess she can't fucking go to cheerleading. Like, what do you want? She wanted him to show up so she could act stupid with him. Because in all honesty, I blamed my ex-husband. I did. I blamed Esteban for the way his ghetto baby mama act. I did. Because he should have put his foot down with her a long time ago, but he was a little punk bitch. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not saying that's for everybody across the board, because I've heard some crazy stories about crazy baby mamas and crazy baby daddies, but he was a little punk bitch. Like, I saw the way he acted when she was around. Like, he acts scary as shit. And that's why he always trying to push me and push me and push me to pick up the little girl and drop the little girl off. And then when I would complain about what she did to me or what she said to me, he'd just be like, oh, I'll talk to her. And like, no, motherfucker, put your fucking foot down. Like, you laid down with this bitch and had a fucking kid. I didn't. Finally, the weekend came. Like I said, he didn't tell her that he wasn't taking her to practice no more. He didn't tell her that he wasn't taking her to the game. And of course, she caused a fucking scene. She's screaming and cussing. She's acting stupid. She's just going the fuck off, dude. Like, going the fuck off. And she's just like, wait till I see her. And I'm like, okay. So I tell him, you know what? I'll take her. I don't tell him shit about what I have planned. I'm just like, I'll take her. I'll take her Sunday and drop her off at the police station. It's fine. I was fed up. I was fed up. I was tired. On top of my fucking ignorant ass ex-narcissistic husband, I was so wanting to kick somebody's ass. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm over it. I'm ready to just put this bitch in her place because his punk ass ain't gonna do it. So I gotta do it. So I show up on Sunday. I see her at the police station. She's on one side and she's sitting kind of like on the back of her car on the phone, and she's hee-hee and ha-haing. So I pull up on the opposite side. And I get out of the car and I get the little girl out of the car, and the little girl runs to the middle of the street or the parking lot, and she kind of walked, halfway as well. And then she's hugging her, she's on the phone, she's talking, and I'm just like, yo, ghetto baby mama. I call her out. I threw a little bait out there because she was so like wanting to be so intimidating, wanting to be so like I'm the shit. So I knew that if I just kind of threw a little bait out there, that if I could just get her to take the bait, then what I had planned, it would work. I just needed to kind of reel this, fat ass ghetto fish in. So I threw a little bait out there. I'm just like, bloop. I'm just like, yo, ghetto baby mama, I heard you talking a lot of shit on the phone. I'm here, what's up? I didn't plan to like put my hands on her. I planned to get her over here and see if she was gonna act a fool and then just kind of go off on her. And then I was gonna make it seem like, because she had a conniving way of doing shit too. Like, I saw it from her. Like, if you just bumped into her, like I didn't, but I'm just saying, like, I seen like one time where we showed up and my shitty ex-husband kind of bumped into her because she bumped into him first, and she just like fell on the floor and tried to act like, oh my god, you struck me, you assaulted me, I'm gonna go inside and plus police charges. So I already knew how she was, dude. She was so fucking to complain in this game because I'm kind of crazy too, honey. I'm just like, yo, get a baby mama, blah 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 blah, So she takes the bait. Like, as I'm talking, she pauses in the middle of the street and she slowly turns around, and I'm like, gotcha, bitch. So I see her kind of like walking over, and she puts the little girl into a headlock, like here, right? And I'm thinking, like, I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. You're planning something, and you think that if you hold your daughter close, that I'm not gonna, yeah, babe. I feel so bad for you because you don't know me. She walks over, she has a little girl in a headlock, holding her really close to her body, and she's talking on the phone, still kikiing, and she walks up to me. What I wasn't expecting, I mean, I knew she was gonna kind of walk up to me and start talking shit. But what I wasn't expecting was for her to be like there. Like the bitch was literally standing on top of me. And like our eyelashes were like scissoring each other, like scissoring eyelashes, like lesbian eyelashes were going on, porno lesbian eyelashes were going on. And I'm just thinking like, what the fuck? My I just reacted. I didn't even have time to think. It happened so fast because she didn't even pause. She just kept walking, and she just didn't stop. And then she had this smirk on her face the entire time. And my face was dead serious. I'm just like, and she's just like, like I just knew that she thought that she was the shit and she was about to come and do something to me. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, she's gonna come over here and just run her mouth. But when she like got like there and we had scissoring eyelashes, my whole body just reacted. Like my inner Sonia crazy bitch came out, and I just popped the shit out of that hole, just like as hard as I could, and with my left hand, babe. And when I did, I also kind of pushed her at the same time to get the fuck off me. And she broke her phone and she dropped it. And the little girl, I only feel bad because of the little girl. Like, the little girl was like, what the fuck? She let go of the little girl, and the little girl goes running behind a truck and hides. And she kind of like went back because I kind of pushed her back, like I said. And I told her, get the fuck out of my face, bitch. I was like, I don't know who you think you was about to walk up on, but you ain't walking up on me. Like, nah, it ain't happening. She, of course, starts screaming her fucking head off like a fucking idiot. And, oh my God, you assaulted me. And, da, 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 da. And I'm like, technically I didn't. And she's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I know it. And there was a guy standing across the street who was watching the whole thing. And she was like, did you see her assault me? Did you see her assault me? And he was like, why did you walk over to her car? And I was like, true. Why did you walk over to my car? Like, you came over here looking for shit. Like, I don't know what you think was gonna happen, but shock the fuck out of you. She goes running inside, forgot her fucking kid, forgot her fucking phone. She goes running inside, and I'm right behind her, walking very casually with my keys. I'm like, okay, here we go. Ready? Action. And we walked inside, and she's screaming and hollering like, she assaulted me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I don't know what she's talking about. And she's like, look at my face, because it was kind of red. So I'm like, okay, I gotta like play this up. So I'm like, okay, well, I said, actually, I came to drop the little girl off. I'm parked right here. She walked over to me. There's a witness outside. She walked over to me. She got in my face and she shoved me, and she tried to start shit with me. So I hit her in self-defense. Now what, bitch? She was just like, no, you're lying, and la la la. And I'm just like standing there like really calm. And I'm just like, there's a witness outside. He's out there. One of the chiefs finally, he jumps in. He's like, all right, enough, because she's screaming her fucking head off. He's like, okay, enough. That's enough. He's like, here's what's gonna happen. Because she's like, I want to press charges and da da da. And I was like, okay, well, I want to press charges because she assaulted me first. And the police officer goes, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna arrest you both, and you can go before the judge, and then you can let the judge figure this out. And I was like, all right, cool. I got bail money. What's up? Bitch, I've been to jail. What's up? You better hope they don't put you in my same cell block. What's up? She was just like, oh, no. It was an accident. You know what? Just forget about it. And the police all were looking at her like, you're fucking nuts. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, bitch, that's what I thought. So we walk out to the car, and we get in the car, and I drive my little happy ass home. And then I call my stupid ass fucking, dumb ass fucking ex-husband, and I'm like, yeah, I took care of this. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Your little pussy ass can do it, so I did it. My balls are bigger than yours, homeboy. What's up? We didn't have problems out of that bitch since. She stopped coming to the police station. She stopped picking up the little girl. She started sending somebody else. She was scared of me, and she should have been. We ended up squashing the beef over time because, well, when my ex-husband, I found out that he was a lying, cheating bastard. And again, if you haven't seen that story, then you should go back and watch my narcissistic marriage, because I do talk about my marriage and what happened between me and him. And the night that I found out that he was having an affair, I called her. And I reconciled with her. I talked to her. I told her what was going on. I vented. I let it all out. And she was just like, I understand. She's like, look, I'm sorry. And she even was like, when you assaulted me that day, I knew that something had to be going on. She tried to blame it on him. I'm like, no, bitch, it was you. You're so crazy. But point is after that, had no fucking problems out of her. Once we finally got over, the beef and everything was cool after that, she had no choice but to really understand and acknowledge that I was doing shit for her daughter. And I even told her, now that I finally had her on the phone and we were being cordial, I'm like, look, I'm really genuinely trying to be here for your daughter. Was she still full of shit? Yes, she was. She was still full of fucking shit. But what she saw was that I was being mature, so she needed to be mature. I don't care about that. I just care that she was cordial from that point on. I just cared that she was respectful. I just cared that we no longer had any beef. Even if I still knew that she was a lying fucking idiot. Hey, I can see now why those two smashed and made a baby, because they're both fucking nuts. That's my Ghetto Baby Mama story, and I hope you enjoyed it. I promise you guys, like, I didn't want it to come to that. It was just a reaction, like, the old Sonya came out. I can't help that. I can't help that. Okay? Don't blame me. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and the little notification bell to remember to get notifications when I drop my tea times. Next week, I'm starting my mother series. Please stay tuned, because it's going to be really good and it's going to be emotional, and I really been wanting to get this out. So until next time, don't forget to love yourself, because you are all you have. Bye. So I done trying to fuck you, baby. Hopefully we don't have no babies. I don't even wanna go back home.